This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, traveling the galaxy, talking to folks. Now that the fiscal cliff debate is over, we're asking folks, what do they think about that? Now, sir, I know you've traveled backwards and forwards through time. What do you think about the handling of the government and the fiscal cliff?
I have. I think generally where I come from, a cliff is a large thing which you fall over, and when you reach the bottom, you're in a lot of pain. And I think that's what we should put our government in, a lot of pain.
Now, what kind of things do you think we should do to them? Should we take them to my private hunting reserve and actually hunt them? Hunt the government officials?
Oh, I love this. I love this as an idea. I think it's, I
like hunting humans.
It's a time-honored tradition as a way to dispose of vermin, is by hunting. So I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Now, after we get rid of those Democrats and Republicans, which one of the other parties, there's many other, the Green, the Independents, the Peace and Freedom, there's lots of other political parties. Which ones of those do you think should take over now that we get rid of the Democrats and the Republicans?
Well, I'm all for liberty and peace and freedom. I like those things, but I think we should, look for a steam-powered party.
Okay.
It is the age of mechanics, so it's time we put a little power behind it.
Now, what kind of things do you think we should do to implement and have a better society for the future generation?
Oh, good question. Let me see. Free Fruit Loops every Saturday. I think that's critical. I don't think we need anything else. I think that's it.
So in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say to the folks?
Have a wonderful, wonderful day whenever you are.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, traveling the galaxy, asking people about the wake of this fiscal cliff debate. Now, sir, you've had quite a bit of tough time defending folks because of this fiscal cliff debate. Now, what are things like now that the whole thing is over?
Well, I'm glad I have my own stash of money, my own philosopher's legacy, because that whole thing where I'm hearing that now the wealthy are going to have to pay more and they just leave it as wealthy. So who knows, maybe if you make $10 an hour, you're considered wealthy. So it's nice to have your own stash of cash.
Now, I know some people are actually leaving their countries of origin. Like in France, a very rich and successful actor left France because they were taxing him 75%, and he moved to Russia so he could be taxed 13 to 15%. Do you think people will actually start leaving this planet and going to other planets because the taxes are too high?
Yeah, I'm hearing people saying that. They're not happy. I'm just floating, doing my own thing, but we got some people who are not happy about this whole thing. They want to defect, essentially.
Now, what planets do you think they'll be going to? Like this guy was going to Russia, Singapore is popular. Is there any other planets that people would probably go to?
Russia, some parts of the EU, I heard like South Africa and whatnot, and of course other Asian countries. I heard one saying they were going to move to Laos and Thailand, things like that.
So what kind of things, I know you're pretty well armed and ready to deal with this situation. If you decide to stay on this planet, what can you do to have a better life on this planet?
Keep killing everything until there's nothing left to kill.
Yeah, I like killing humans. So in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say?
Whoever is doing all these things regarding the fiscal cliff and the whole gun thing, just because one incident like that happens, you shouldn't punish everyone. I know everyone's talking about the whole gun thing, and I believe it's Connecticut. It's horrible thing, but I don't think every gun owner should suffer just because of that.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, traveling the galaxy, talking to folks about the fiscal cliff. Now, I'm here with Tony Stark, hiding out. Now, we're kind of laying low. Now, what do you think about the fiscal cliff deal now that it's all over? What do you think about it?
I think it's another clear example of our tax dollars at work. Things could be handled a little bit more professionally, and our government. Well, let's just say I'm a big believer in private enterprise here, so I'll just leave it at that for right now.
Now, one of the big things is that they're talking about taxing the rich for everything. Now, on other countries and other planets, people have left their countries because they're being taxed as much as 75%, and they're moving from France to Russia. U.S.'s are moving to Singapore and stuff like that because of the high taxes. Now, do you, an American, look at possibly moving to another planet like Singapore or Russia due to The high taxes on the rich?
Well, honestly, being rich, you don't hear a whole lot about this, but there's a lot of maneuverability. There's a lot of wiggle room that you can do if you have the dollars to go ahead and make it happen. So I'm not too tremendously worried. This is kind of, home is where I guess you store your armor. No, they're going to go ahead and tax the rich. That's fine. I mean, the only thing is it's going to be, it's always a trick to figure out a way, but they cleverly leave so many loopholes that can be used. So, I'm not worried. Nobody should worry. It's one of those deals.
Now, there's going to be some major defense cuts in the budget. Now, how will that affect you? We talked to Bruce Wayne about that. Now, what do you think about the defense cuts? How will that be affecting you?
I'll have to switch to regular instead of premium.
Okay, so in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks?
I can't come up with anything right now, but I hope you all have a great evening or day or wherever you're at in your time of day when you see this.
You could have said bye, Stark, didn't you?
No, I got you.
Oh, well. Anyway, so in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network signing out. This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network traveling the galaxy. Now, the fiscal cliff is over, and we're asking some of the Americans throughout the galaxy about this. So, Captain America, what do you think now that this big fiscal cliff debate is over? What do you think about it?
I'm very happy that it's over. I'm very happy that people actually got together and did something to prevent some kind of major catastrophe, and I would hope that that would continue to happen.
Now, what do you see as the future of America? You've been through a wide variety of times and travel and stuff like that. What do you think is the future of America?
Well, I believe America is going to continue to change, and it's kind of difficult to see where it's going to go. As a matter of fact, waking up a few years ago and growing up in the 40s and 30s, the world has changed so much. Hard to see which way things are going to go. Maybe we'll finally get those flying cars, and maybe we won't.
Now, we've been talking to folks about the fiscal cliff and the higher taxes on the rich. Do you see people possibly leaving America and going to other countries due to the high taxes on the wealthy?
Who can say? Every person makes up their own mind.
So, if there's anything you'd like to tell the folks about the fiscal cliff deal, what would you tell them?
I would just say I hope that there's no other issues that arise as a result of it, and have fun in 2013.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd say?
Say one more time.
Any last minute things you'd like to say?
Captain America, Winter Soldier coming out 2014. Take a look. I think you'll like it.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network. I'm saying, I want you! This is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network. Traveling the galaxy, talk to some of the folks in America about this fiscal cliff now that it's over. So, Gaio, now...
That's right.
Gaio, now that this fiscal cliff debate is over, what do you think about how it was handled?
Well, I don't know. I think they kind of put America in a little bit too much jeopardy, taking so long to do a thing. I mean, I know they got their jobs and we got our jobs, but I'm just saying people like me are out there defending our country for what it's supposed to be, and what we stand for, and they're all there penny pushing and trying to squeeze every dollar last American. I don't think that's right. I know we had to raise the taxes and all that, and that's fine. I'm just saying we have how many people in the Senate and House of Representatives, and they couldn't come up with a decision until what, the 30th, the 31st, even after that. I'm just saying they put us pretty close to that fiscal cliff, and falling off it would have been a devastation to the country I know and love. And I'm happy they came to a consensus, but I think it took them way too goddamn long.
Now, due to all this political fighting, one of the big cutbacks was on the military, and you being in the military, and we talked to Tony Stark about the cutbacks on the military. What do you think about all these?
I'm sure he's not feeling that, but
what do you think about all these cutbacks on the military?
We're going into a peacetime right now, so I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm saying if there had to be a time for us to cut, it'd be now. But I'm saying we're America's fighting force, and they need us. All right, we're there to defend you and make sure you're okay. So I'm just saying, taking weapons away from the people that keep you safe at night is probably not the best idea in the world.
So what kind of things, you mentioned that the Democrats and the Republicans are fighting, others are saying that we should look for a third-party candidate. What do you think of the the Democrats and the Republicans, and should there be a third-party candidate?
I wish there was a third party that actually had a foothold in the political debate, because I see the sides from both. I see both sides, and I see they have good pros and cons, and I can't get behind either the Democrat or Republican Party myself, because they both have pros and cons, and I see one have a good idea and the other have a good idea, but then they contradict themselves. So I wish there was a neutral party that could kind of merge the two ideas, because I think that's what the country needs, is somewhere right in the middle, so you're not left-wing or right-wing nut. I think right in the middle would be perfect for our country.
So in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say to the folks around the galaxy?
Well, everyone, Guile, America, and have a good one.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, I want you.